Thank you.
Dr. Lundeen, my background is legal, not medical, so I hope you'll bear with me as I try to clarify some technical terms.
Of course.
I'm going to ask some pretty elementary questions.
All right.
Would you say Commander Queeg is absolutely normal?
Well, normality, you know, is a fiction in psychiatry. No adult is without problems except a happy imbecile.
What are Commander Queeg's problems?
You might say his overall problem is one of an inferiority complex generated by an unhappy childhood and aggravated by certain adult experiences.
Unhappy childhood in what way?
Divorced parents, financial trouble, problems at school.
And the aggravating factors in adult life?
In his adult life, the commander is troubled by his low standing in his academy class and other such factors, but he has become well-adjusted.
Can you describe the nature of that adjustment?
His identity as a naval officer is the essential factor. It's the key to his personal security. Therefore, he has a fixed anxiety about protecting his standing. That would account for his harshness.
Would he be slow to admit mistakes?
Yes, of course, there's nothing unbalanced in that.
Oh, really? I mean, would he be a perfectionist?
Such a personality would be.
Inclined to hound his subordinates over the smallest little details?
Any mistake of a subordinate is intolerable because it might cause him harm.
And yet he will not admit mistakes that he makes himself.
You might say that he revises reality in his own mind, so he comes out blameless.
Doctor, isn't distortion of reality a symptom of mental illness?
It's a question of degree. Each one of us has our own reality.
Yes, Doctor, but doesn't Commander Queeg distort reality more, say, than you do?
Yes, that's his weakness. Other people have other weaknesses. It's definitely not disabling.
Well, if he's criticized, would he think he was being unjustly persecuted?
It's all one pattern, all stemming from one basic premise, that he must try to be perfect.
Inclined to stubbornness, then?
Well, you'll have a certain rigidity of personality in such an individual. His inner insecurity stops him from admitting that those who differ from him may be right.
Doctor, you just testified that the following symptoms exist in Commander Queeg's behavior. We have rigidity of personality. We have feelings of persecution. We have unreasonable suspicion. We have withdrawal from reality. We have performance anxiety. We have an unreal basic premise and an obsessive sense of self-righteousness.
All mild, sir. All well compensated.
Yes, Doctor, yes. But is there an inclusive psychiatric term? I mean, one label for this syndrome?
Syndrome? Who said anything about a syndrome? You're misusing a term. There's no syndrome because there's no disease.
I'll rephrase it. Do these symptoms fall into a single pattern of neurotic disturbance, a common psychiatric class?
I know what you're getting at.
Well?
It's a paranoid personality, but that is not a disabling affliction.
Oh, yeah, Doctor, a what personality, Doctor?
Paranoid.
A paranoid?
Yes, paranoid.
Doctor, in a paranoid personality like Commander Queeg's, would he... I'm going to put this to you hypothetically. Can a man have a paranoid personality that would not disable him for subordinate duties, but would disable him for command?
It's conceivable.
And is the disabling factor likely to be detected in a personal interview?
With a skilled psychiatrist, yes.
Why? I mean, why is a psychiatrist needed? Can't an educated, intelligent person detect a paranoid?
Well, you evidently aren't too well acquainted with the pattern. The distinguishing mark of this neurosis is the extreme plausibility and a most convincing normal manner on the surface, particularly in self-justification.
Self-justification. Thank you, Doctor. No further questions.
The court wishes to clear up one point. Doctor, is such a thing possible? Well, let me put it this way. Let's say that a man with a mild condition is not disabled for all the usual stresses of command. Now let's say those stresses are multiplied, manifold by an extreme emergency. Would there then be a tendency to make erroneous judgments?
There might be, sir. Of course, extreme stress does that to almost anybody.
It's not supposed to do it to commanding officers.
No, but practically speaking, sir, they're human.